Hi everyone, welcome to Spiritual World, in which I talk about everything related to spirituality so it can empower you on your day-to-day life. Today we are here to talk about Legend of the Starcraft. Now this first comes in as a legend, and this is a book by Dolores Cannon, and it talks to you about some of the legend that Toomas, the hunter, heard when he was growing up. So this is dated back around 12,000 years ago. So it could be 12,000 years ago or before. Now Toomas community very often share different kind of stories. Now Toomas community, they were composed of the wise men. The wise man was responsible of seeing the stars. He would often say, well, the earth is gravitating on the sun, and he would be saying different kind of knowledge because he could read with his eyes the wisdom of the stars. He would also teach them about the origin story of how they came on earth. Now this is the story. They said that originally they were living on a planet, and in that planet they had huge political upheaval. There were people that wanted to destroy the planet, and they have weapons of destruction, and a small pocket of population didn't want that. And it seems that at that point maybe you could also destroy other planets, and that group of people didn't want to harm anything, so they hopped on a spacecraft, and then they decided to navigate to find another planet to live and never to come back to their original planet. And in the middle route, while they were traveling, their spacecraft started to malfunction, and they had to crash land on Earth. So they actually landed in the Bering area, like Bering or Alaska, or actually really up north of Canada, in that region, in the valley there. And first when they came here, they were not able to adapt to the weather. So when they first came in, the sun was very harsh, so they lived in the spaceship, and then they would only come out at night. And when they came out at night, because they had perfect nighttime vision, they could actually see things very clearly. However, they were beginning to die massively. They said because they were probably not wearing the right type of clothing. They were having a hard time to adapt. For example, the crops that they were trying to grow would not grow. So they had a very hard time. And then also, they noticed that energy on Earth was very dense, and was very hard for them. And they still had a very small pocket of people also living with the valley with them, the other type of native people. And when they were there, they had to notice that whenever they reproduce themselves, the babies would die, or the baby will have certain level of the organs will not grow in the right places. So there were a lot of this formality, and it was hard to reproduce for them. And gradually it took them a long time. So throughout a lot of time frame, so for them to readapt to the crops, making it grow. Not every crop managed to survive, but there was the crop for clothing, weaving. They managed to make that plant grow. And they also had different kind of gears. For example, they had a machine, so as soon as you put food in it, it would kind of immediately cook. And in addition to that, when they were living there, they had to hunt. It was important for them to live in harmony with Earth, because they were never afraid, because they live in harmony with Earth. They knew the animals will not hurt them. But whenever they had to hunt animal, it was very hard for them, because when they had to do that, the animals will talk to them and they will say, please don't kill me. And because they would hear it, it was very hard for them mentally, and they had to apologize every time for killing the animal. And they had to say, I'm sorry, I have to kill you to feed my family. But they will also say, well, your offsprings are there already. They will live out well. And then we just need to take the sufficient amount of meat for us to survive. They would never overkill. They would only actually take the right portion for them. So like, you know, nowadays some people like kill for fun. They would never do that. They are in great harmony with the earth. They also had this type of rock. So they had this rock, and they could communicate easily with their origin planet. However, it was very hard for them to come back and pick them up from Earth because their planet could not locate Earth, so it never worked out in the end, so they had to stay. And then gradually some of the items that they had were tucked in, some of them were buried, some of them dysfunctioned, and some of them they just thought it was better to stay buried. And also in addition to that, they had this type of, they used the sun energy. So they used the sun in order to have this reflection, it seems, to actually kill. If they were to hunt, they could use that. But not everyone was aware of that technology. And they were more of a fair skin, and they had like wheat color hair. Gradually, some of them were taught by the natives how to live in harmony with the planet Earth. They taught them that you needed to wear like different kind of garment so you could adapt to the Earth lifestyle. And gradually they intermeshed with some of the natives, some not. And gradually a lot of the stories when it comes to the legend got gradually faded away as the Eskimos came along. A lot of the legend and story got transformed a little bit, and this is the story of the legend of the Starcrash. So if we understand from that perspective, we are not that different. We are also in some way already hybrid to some of the different races from different planets. So this is all I wanted to share with you when it comes to Legend of the Starcrash. Hope you have a lovely day. Bye bye for now.